everybody, welcome to Donna and my virtual vintage. This is Modern Mahjong's probably 7th, maybe. I mean, we've done a lot of these. We started with a show and tell and just had a few of our sets, and then expanded and invited collectors to join us and share beautiful sets that they have. One of our last one was accessories and ephemera, which was a very interesting one. So my name's Dara. Donna.
I'm Donna.
So for those of you watching, this is being recorded. We will share on our YouTube channel. If during the screen share, if anything is blocking, you can click on the chat and move it off to the side. You could also do that with the speakers. However you want to, your Zoom is up to you to adjust. And with that being said, the first 2 sets of sets will be Gregg Swain and Karen Robertson. They both sent in videos for all of us to watch. So I will start screen sharing and then pause those, and Greg and Karen will talk about their sets as well as input from our esteemed guests. So.
This is one of my travel sets, but I'm going to wait for the travel part until the very end. I wanted to start with these banks, which I think are just fantastic. I haven't seen any like this before. So the banks are made probably of Catalin, and they've got poles that you can see, and each pole is a different color, and each pole holds different value coins. So there's a red, yellow, white, and blue pole, and the coins that they hold have the value of, from left to right, 500, 100, 50, and 10. So those are the value of those poles and of the coins. And obviously it seems a lot easier to me to just use quarters, but they didn't then. I thought you'd enjoy seeing the cute little bone dice there. You will notice that the 1 pip isn't even colored in, it's just plain, but you know that that's a 1. I just think these are really pretty. And they fold up for travel, so I guess that really is in keeping with a travel set. So over here, we have just regular bone and bamboo tiles. These are very pretty. You'll notice that the numbers on the cracks are in green. Our numbers are in green. And the letters on the winds are also green. And that is really something that you see with some higher end sets. I always love the shape of those BAMs. And I love the 8 BAMs. It always looks to me like somebody's wearing spats, like a guy's wearing spats. Anyway, now I'm going to show you why it's called a travel set. And here we go. You'll see that we've got a boat up on the top and a train on the bottom. And the travel sets usually have boats and trains because China had opened up their trading routes to now being able to do international trade with other countries. And we all know how well that went, right? I love on the top one, the smoke leaves the tile and disappears and then comes back over the number 2. And on the bottom one, you can see that the smoke goes from tile number 1 to tile number 2. You will also notice that the numbers are laid out in our order, which means that this set really was made for export because the Chinese were very excited and proud about their international trade and they wanted to celebrate it on the tiles. I happen to think that all those little, like those little half circles, those little arches that you see on the boat and also in the train, I think that they are people sitting on the boat and on the train, and I love that aspect of the set. So I love this set. Hope you do too.
It's the higher the bull ratio, the more expensive. I mean, Theresa's more experienced in selling stuff than I am because I never sell anything.
That's true.
Yeah,
and then Jill asked what year was the set made? Do you have any estimate?
My guess is in the 20s, because that's when a lot of these sets were being made. And the fact that they have numbers on them for export, that's when all the big exports were starting from China. So sometime in the mid to late 20s, I think.
And then I guess this is for anyone, for a travel set to be called travel, is there a specific minimum size or maximum size usually of the tiles?
Normally, when we say travel, it's for sets to be taken on the road with you. And so maybe some of the other people would like to talk about that. I called it travel because it's obviously images of travel. So that's why it's one of my, variations of a travel set.
Well, I saw something. Go ahead, Tony.
Yeah, the travel sets are normally the little what you call leather boxes, and the smaller size, or the 1-inch tiles in the flat boxes.
Yeah. I can run and get a leather travel one. You want me to go get one?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Oh, well, Tony actually, Paul, that's Paul masquerading.
Yeah.
Tony is showing one of the travel, what we really typically think of as travel sets. They come in these boxes with a sliding lid, flat box like that.
Yeah.
Right. I renamed you, Paul. Your name is Paul now.
Here's
Yay.
here's one of the leather ones.
That's what I was thinking, a small one with a handle or a small leather box. Yeah,
I'm
Yeah,
just
you
going to
see it?
get one
Yeah.
as well.
what Theresa has.
See it?
See,
Yeah.
it's so helpful that all of you just have them at the ready. I mean,
This is the one I made new shelves for. I was taught how to do that.
that's great.
So it has stacked shelves. I don't know if you can see it easily. I'm sorry.
Well, it's blurred a little, but if you, move back
Yeah.
and forth, you got it.
And then
Very-
these are really travel. See how tiny they are?
Yeah,
They're like,
Like a lady set.
a lady set, that's what I was thinking.
Right.
Yeah.
this is the one that Tony completed for me. Because it was pre-flowers, pre-jokers.
Oh, wow.
When I see or think of travel sets, I think they're pretty close to our normal size tiles because I've seen the non-travel tiles and they're huge. They stand on their own. They don't need a rack. And they're probably 3 times the thickness and 1.5 times the height of what we play with. So I think our standard everyday Mahjong sets are considered travel sets to a lot of other game players. And then there's ladies travel sets that get smaller. And then there's the miniature sets.
Right. Yeah, I have a miniature set and I mean, the tiles are rather tiny.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
we'll do that.
love-
I sent Dara 2 of mine and we'll do that another time. Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
Tony's showing, those are really tiny.
Those are
These,
tiny.
those
these
are
are
tiny.
minute. Here's the
A
Ooh,
baby set.
Mhm.
yeah. That's the box.
Oh, cute.
If it's okay.
It was actually not a set that was made by the Mahjong sales company, but it was a set that the salespeople went out and bought. They really bought as many sets as they could, and then they put them in Mahjong sales company boxes while they were busy making sets of their own. So this is one such set. I do not believe that the Mahjong company made this set at all because it's very, very different from anything that they did. But they bought it, put it in their box and exported it and made some money on it. So that's the front panel of the box. Here are the tiles, and you'll see that they really are very simple tiles. They're nice, but the designs are very simple. You do have the bamboo sprout, 1 bam. A lot of people like that, but the designs themselves are just very, very simple. The winds have green letters, which usually means that it's a higher value set. And then the dragons have letters additionally. Sometimes they're just the Chinese characters, but here we have F for Fa on the green dragon, P for Po on the white dragon, and C for Chung on the red dragon. So over here, we have why it's a travel set. And you'll see that the top has some different scenes in the landscape, but then in the bottom, we have travel. So the first one is a sailboat. The north is a sailboat. The south is a steamship. The east is a train, and the west is a zeppelin. I love the fact that the zeppelin fit completely on the tile. but I guess if you just did half a Zeppelin, nobody would know what it was. Now you'll see that there are winds on the tiles, wind initials, and that's really because the Chinese play so that if you're sitting and if you're in the east chair position, you'll get some extra points if you get the east wind tile, the east flower tile, and also if it's east round, you'll get some extra points. And it can be very confusing for people because they think that they're winds. They're not winds, they're the flower tiles, but it's all about assigning extra points in the Chinese version of the game. Hope you like it. I do.
Okay. All right. I think I got that.
Right, you got it. It's the only time I've ever seen a Zeppelin on a tile, so I
And
was.
were those little people, did you say, underneath it?
Yeah, they were little people, yeah.
Yeah.
Can I get in?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, just something that was said there earlier about the green numbers on the tile marking the set as being higher end. Tony can confirm this, but if you look there, that's what Tony and myself generally mean. I think when we say green cracks, that the actual Chinese number is in green and it marks it as a higher end set or from a particular factory or shop. Anyway, that's my piece.
Yeah.
That looks like a nice set.
It is.
Yeah.
It's been here before, so it has. Lovely set.
Yeah. My pal, well, several people's pal, Alan Weitz in Canada, he asked me to make him a travel set. Well, some transport tiles. So I did one very similar to the one that Gregg just showed, you know, with the train and the ship. So yeah, there's not many of these around.
Right.
That's I was gonna ask you guys, the contiguous tiles, I don't know if a lot of people on here have never seen them, but does that make the set more valuable? I just absolutely love them.
Oh yeah.
Do they make them more valuable?
Yes.
That
Yeah,
Tony can
market-
say yes to, even though he doesn't sell.
Yeah, markedly more valuable. They're
Yeah,
very hard to
well,
find.
Yeah, more valuable to me, that's for sure. You know, they're definitely more desirable.
Right. And then I forget what it was. I read somewhere they were talking about when they carve and it's contiguous, but that there's still a spacing in between. Like there's sometimes like a margin on the tiles. I got to look and see where I read that. There was some vases line up that sometimes they don't line up perfectly because of the way that the tile is made.
It's just because of the edges of the tiles are worn.
Oh.
Yeah. So if they were completely flat and sharp edged, they would be contiguous.
Right.
And any contiguous flowers are higher value.
Right.
And should be insured for more because they're just harder to come by.
Right. Right.
Oh yeah, you're talking about like the vases, the joined vases, and
Those are more common, but like anytime you have like a landscape scene where it's a fence or the ladies on the balcony,
Right.
Yeah.
Anytime it's continuous scene, they're always more valuable.
Right.
I'm going to show you a set that I love, and I think you'll see why. To begin with, it came in this unusual box. This box is almost square. It happens to be a little bit higher than it is across, but you don't usually associate this type box with a Mahjong set. But my set came in it and obviously was intended to be in it because everything fits perfectly. It came with 3 racks that I'll show you in a minute. 3 drawers, which I'll show you in a minute, and came with 4 racks. So this is the type of rack that you often will see. It's a wooden rack. It's got the spindles for the coins that you can get at the end of playing. But this one has the score possibilities, and that's very helpful to the players. The way they played in the early days of Mahjong in this country is not like the way we play today. And therefore, it could be very helpful to have these scoring aids. This one is hidden on the secret shelf on the Mahjong rack, so nobody else could actually see it, but people could keep track of how they were doing. Okay, so here are the tiles, and I love these tiles. You'll see that we've got some fabulous dots, very elaborately carved. We've got some bamboos. Here are the one bamboos, a little 5 crack hanging out in there. But anyway, the one bams are very simple. They're flying peacocks, and they're very sweet with little feet in the back. But it's the elaborate carvings of the bamboos. And then we have the winds, which are very simple here. Simple dragons. And then here are the west winds here. But you'll see now why I really fell for this set. Look at these flowers. They're all birds, and aren't they fantastic
lovely.
birds? The amount of detail in the carving of these birds is just extraordinary. And a friend of mine is a real birder, and she was able to identify the birds in these tiles. So we can't say birdie bam because there would be a lot of birdie bams in this set. Would have the 8 flower tiles in addition to the other 4 the other 4 one bam. So there are a total of 12 birds in this set. So it's not a set for beginners, but I certainly do love these flowers. I actually saw somebody copied my set. I put it online on my website, Mahjong Treasures, and somebody copied all these birds and put it on some fabric and made dresses out of it. So I think I need to contact them and at least get a set dress for myself, don't you? All right, here, hope you like it.
Wow,
Fabulous.
Yeah.
that is.
I
So
love
the
birds.
one bam was the flying peacock, and then the
Right.
other birds.
Yeah,
somebody
with
was
the
asking
feet
a question.
behind it. That was sweet.
So wow, I mean, talk about a lot of dead hands if that set was used for.
Do you have any idea where it was made? I didn't know if I heard that.
No, I just think it's somewhere in China, but somebody really knew their birds. They're carving those flowers. They're really beautiful birds.
I did notice that the bottom row are on the standard Chinese flora. Looked like one was a bamboo and one was maybe an orchid or a chrysanthemum and a plum.
Okay.
It looked like it would still be the seasons, at least the bottom row. The top row, I couldn't tell as much. Maybe Tony would probably be better at figuring that out, or you, Greg.
I'll have to look at that more carefully. I just got distracted by the birds.
They're stunning. Yeah.
Wait, hold on, I could. Here's just the paused.
Yeah, that's bamboo.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we have like a
Lotus?
well, I'm thinking lotus or something, but I
Mhm.
don't think it's traditional what we
Yeah,
would.
I
yeah.
don't see the plum
No.
blossom.
No.
And somebody had asked about the one bam. There's the one bam for
Yes.
whoever had asked. There's the peacock.
I love the feet.
I know.
Yeah.
Love that.
It's really, yeah, the difference between like the cuteness of the one bam and then this kind of the serious portraits of the other birds is really, it's also part of the charm.
No, that's great. Okay, thank you very much, Greg. I think that was your third set. I think now we're on.
That was third, uh-huh.
set.
Look at these flowers. They're all birds. And
That's
I think
That's enough hearing from Greg.
the amount of
Let me fast forward. Okay, here we go.
Cool.
Ooh.
What's
Oh, you're
that?
giving a sneak peek. Homemade door. But inside,
Ooh.
oh, bone and bamboo, less than 50-50 ratio. Imagine these are the green bams. These could be either
Oh, my
dots
goodness.
or cracks, given the red. The third suit. And then the winds, dragons, and flames. I was very pleased to find this set. It was a shot in the dark because they didn't show many tiles. They showed one tile, and I thought maybe it was dominoes. So I lucked out.
Very nice.
Anyway, that's my beautiful set.
That's wonderful.
Very
And,
Beautiful.
I have a question for all the collectors to chime in. Do you play with people that appreciate the art and the challenge of the vintage sets? Or
Yes.
just a little pushback from some of the people when you bring out these very unique sets?
Well, I can tell you, I have 3 different Mahjong groups, and 2 of the Mahjong groups love when I bring a different set every week. They'll play with anything. It's wonderful. One of them only want to play with standard white tiles. So
Right.
it depends on the group, but most of them just love it. I usually bring something new every week that they haven't seen. And 2 of them are now collectors. So I think that's good news.
That's wonderful.
That's
Can I
nice that
chime
you
in on
have
that?
that.
Yeah, each week we play Mahjong with our neighbor next door, and each week I do a show and tell of an interesting set, and she absolutely loves it. And we played with one of them the week before, and she was just over the moon with the look and the feel and the difference from a modern set. So yeah.
Yeah, Darren,
They
our
are
group don't
appreciated.
appreciate it.
Well,
There's-
yeah.
There's a set that I only played when Theresa was in town, and we let her play with it. Because certain people, you have to know, they can't eat food while playing with it, and be very delicate with some of them. So
And one time we played in a little half-day charity tournament, and I was all nervous. It was the first time I ever played in a tournament. And the person looked at a tile that was the red dragon that wasn't a plain white tile with a red dragon. And they said, "What's this?" And I said, "Oh, I'm fine. I think I'll be okay." So, yeah. Okay, so that is okay. So now please give me a thumbs up if you hear Karen talking again.
ooh.
Here's a set that I bought. Has a little bit of a damaged, missing lip here. I have it downstairs in the basement. When you open it, it's a Yankee takeout set. It's French ivory, jellybacks, green. Beautiful. The real surprise is underneath. These are the 2-piece racks that slide together. I don't know if I can do this one-handed or not. You get the idea. And in there goes a little man that I don't have, but one day.
Oh,
We know someone who has one.
Yeah, Theresa, you can send your little man to me anytime you want.
So
That's beautiful.
for those of you who, Karen, if you want to, can you explain for people who haven't seen jellyback before, what jellyback means?
I can explain what they mean to me. There might be a better description from the other collectors. They're kind of translucent. They're not a solid back. I've seen them in amber honey colors. I've seen them in orange and greens. I've seen a few darker browns that you think are solid, but when you bring them up to light a little better, they're actually jellybacks. And they look like if you put a big spread of jelly onto the back of a tile, that's what it looks like. And they're hard to come by. You have to be careful because I've noticed that a couple of the jelly sets I had years ago had that celluloid rot, which is a disaster to a set, just disaster. You can't keep it around your other sets. So even my current jelly sets, I keep separately from everything else.
And if somebody wants to chime in, just to give a heads up about what celluloid rot is.
We don't know what it is.
Or what it looks like.
Yeah,
Oh, I can tell you what it looks like.
oh,
It looks
it-
like if you took a tile and you smashed it hard on the concrete and it shatters just a little bit, or crystallized honey, that's the beginning of celluloid rot.
Yeah, and it looks
and-
like a fungus on your toenail.
No.
It's that sort of, whitish color,
And what
I have
tiles,
some,
and it
to-
spreads.
what tiles do people have to worry about coming into contact?
Celluloid,
celluloid tiles.
yeah, or French ivory, same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, they also
So-
have like old razors or the old hairbrushes and mirror sets. Those can also get celluloid rot.
So a regular Catalan or Bakelite or a modern set, you don't have to worry
No,
about
they're
that.
fine.
No,
They're
No.
fine. No.
no.
And the kicker is once it starts, you can't stop it. It emits like a gas. I think it was like a formaldehyde decomposition. And if you wanted to speed up, you keep them sealed up in a bag. I was doing lots of experiments because I wanted it to separate from the French ivory front. And I wanted to see what I could do with it. And then the ones that were left out. Night, sweetheart. Come say good night. Sorry. I'm in Connecticut visiting.
Aw.
There.
My little grandson.
Who's your Mahjong player?
Night, babes.
Oh, it's adorable. What a cutie.
Let me-
Night. Night, night.
Wow, that was an easy night. My kids didn't go so happily to bed.
Oh, has anyone seen those racks before? I've never seen that, where they come apart.
I think we've had it on a virtual vintage before.
I don't remember that.
So I was gonna ask, Theresa had shared them when she wasn't on one. She sent us a picture
Oh,
of them.
right.
So can you, Karen, I know you were longing for those people who are on the Zoom tonight that don't know what you were talking about. Those racks have a little hole and you
Yes.
click in. So I know Theresa,
Yankee distributing people have a little wood carved man.
It's
Um,
metal. It's metal.
oh, Is it metal? Maybe that's
It's
why I
very
can't find
heavy.
one. I'm looking at the wrong thing. And
Yeah.
whoever's East, they put him in that little hole on their racks. So you know who East is. And he's really hard to find and very collectible. So I'll
If-
find him one day.
If you give me, I can run and get it and come back. It's gonna take me a minute.
I don't remember
your
who's
call.
next. And we'll skip you. Go ahead, go run and get them.
Okay, you guys
Yeah.
can go ahead to the stone stuff and I'll come back.
Well, I
Okay,
just wanted
okay.
to show something because we won't have time to show one of the sets I have because we have too much, but I just want to show one of these. We were talking about travel sets and these are little
Oh, that's
foldable
great.
racks. And I don't know. I love them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah. These are pretty.
I have another set maybe I can bring next time that have the vintage foldable racks, but they're not in half. They're like a third just to fit into the case.
Oh,
So maybe we should do a thing about racks because
Yeah.
some sets I buy exclusively for the racks.
There
I
is,
like the
yeah.
swing back, the double swing backs.
and then
I
there's the
love
ones that have the little beads on the end of the tips instead of the.
Okay,
Yeah, the rock
all right, I'm
games.
back.
yeah.
That was fast.
Well, it's just down the stairs. This is the first closet downstairs. Okay, so Karen, is your do you have two shelves or one shelf in your box?
I have one shelf and then the 4 racks underneath.
Okay, oh my, it literally just broke. Oh my God.
Uh-oh.
Just the top, I have to glue it. It's the joint. Okay, so if you want to put it on me, I'll show you guys.
Yeah, you're, when you talk, it'll go to you.
Oh, I can't see me.
You probably
You
muted.
can't see yourself.
I can't see
probably
myself
see-
at all.
There's a setting that says
I
hide.
see you.
There's a setting on thing that says hide me, because a lot of people during Zoom realize they don't like looking at themselves.
No, I'm seeing the stone thing. I'm seeing your stone tiles. I'm
Yeah.
no maker.
We see
There-
you, Teresa.
Just put it in the screen and we'll tell you if
Okay,
it's,
all right, so this is what just broke. Can you see it?
Yes.
move
Okay,
it to
so that's
your
the
right.
thing. But
Okay,
I have 2 shelves. I have one shelf and then I have a second shelf. You see that? I'm sorry.
Nope,
And
perfect.
then
great.
I have the racks, but then this is how little the man is. It's in a little, comes in a very little box.
Oh, he's itty
And-
bitty.
and he's heavy. I mean, he's really heavy and he's solid metal.
Here, just
And
put
he's-
him straight towards the camera.
Do you see him?
Perfect.
Oh, I
Stay right.
love him.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
he's
Oh,
blue
lovely.
and there's a red one too,
Excellent.
but he's heavy.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, Theresa
Yeah.
and I have already agreed to leave things with each other in our wills. So we'll just add that to the list.
Oh, this is going to you. Okay, good to know.
All right, I'll make sure to take note of that.
But we're not dying anytime soon, neither of us. So
No,
there you go.
neither. We're gonna play with them in heaven.
Yeah.
Thank you, Theresa.
Well, we
You're
did.
welcome.
Did we ever feature the Joss paper set where people have the paper Mahjong set that they burn?
They
So they-
burn, yeah, we have them. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah,
You've
Yeah.
shown that.
yeah, we've
Yeah.
shown it. I have them.
Okay, so next up is Karen's stone tile set.
And that's about all you're gonna know.
As is fun to play with, but it's very heavy. It's made out of stone, and our kitty's helping. But I love it. I don't even know what kind of stone it is, but just
Oh, you couldn't hear the tap tap.
got it from a lady. I think she was a lady, might be a man. I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. And it's beautiful. I don't know what else to say about it. I don't know anything about it. The tiles are bigger than average. They're beautiful. These wood pieces are to put onto the display box in the back, in case you want to just set it as a piece of art on the shelves. But that's all I know about it. Maybe you guys can help me figure it out.
Terrific.
It's more like almost a quartz, but not a quartz. It's some type of heavy natural stone. I'm sorry, Catherine, you couldn't see the tiles.
Well, when we share the YouTube, it'll be on the screen. Maybe for some reason
Okay.
the screen wasn't showing, but I think everyone else saw
Okay.
the
Yeah.
tiles, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just scrolling. Christine said he's fantastic. She uses cigar. I'm just looking to see if we had any questions that we missed. Okay, so now I think that ends. Karen, that was the last video you sent in, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's correct. And I sent the videos because I wasn't sure what was going on here in Connecticut and if I would have internet coverage. I wouldn't have my sets, so that's for sure. But thanks for letting me do that.
Oh, no, of course.
Oh, thank you.
You
So
bet.
now I am going to share my screen. Okay, do you guys see blue font on a yellow?
Mhm.
So now, these were the sets that we all just saw, these beautiful sets. And now we are on to Tony Watson.
good man, Tony.
Right, this is a French set, a very cheap set, but a fantastic, artwork on this. I've got two of these. One is a part set, and this the only ones I've ever seen. It's made by Maison Jeunesse, which is a House of Youth. And the if you can have the next screen, it's their carton tiles. Yeah, and they're really quite nice. Sprout bamboo, and the gentlemanly arts, and for the flowers, and and the seasonal flowers.
What are they made out of, Tony?
They're made out of carton, compressed paper. So they're only about like 1/8 of an inch thick.
Wonderful.
Yeah, but they're really nice with tiny little racks.
And just to thank Tony, on our Facebook group, just the other day, someone had 2 flower tiles that they'd never seen before, and she shared a picture. And between Tony and Ray Heaton, it was just amazing, the information that they share. So I know we're going over a lot of sets that, I would never have the privilege to see in person from these sets. So if you have any questions about other sets, feel free to post on our group. And we luckily have such, knowledgeable people to chime in.
Tony,
Yeah.
the white dragon, does that have the little red diagonal on as
Yeah.
an identifier?
That's to show that it's a white dragon.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think there are any spares, or that at least there weren't in this set. You know. So
And then
yeah.
are there little picture frame like corners on some of the tiles?
Yes, it's just the registration marks for the machine that cut them. So these were printed in a big sheet, and pasted onto the cardboard, and then a big guillotine type thing would chop them into pieces.
It's just so funny how back then somebody who did them might have been upset that the little squares are on there, where I think that's so great now to see that, you know.
Right. Yeah.
And then just
Tony, do you have to store them in any certain way since it's paper?
No.
You don't worry
Well, they're in a room with central heating, you know, so it's there's no problem about them getting damp or anything like that.
And Tony, I know this is probably a very lengthy question, but can you give a short version of what the sprout BAM is? Because most people are used to seeing a bird as the one BAM.
Yeah, well, initially the number one bamboo, the whole set is based on money, and the circles, or the dots as the Americans call them, are coins, single coins. The bamboo suit is a string of coins. So what looks like a bamboo is actually a string of coins. The Chinese coins have a hole in the center, just like, where is he? Just like this. Yep. That one's actually filled with a little thing. It's out of a lucky frog. Yeah. So the number one bamboo was a string of cash with the little the strings, and it looks like a mayfly. Anyway, if you turn this mayfly upside down, it also looks like a bird swooping, and it sort of extrapolated from that into a peacock and all sorts of things. And the body looks just like a sprout, a bamboo sprout. So it's I've done on several of the collectors' websites, mostly Mahjong and Mahjong Collectors Association, and I think Mahjong, that's it. I've posted a little file of the evolution of the number one bamboo. So yeah, if you can have a look
The
at
evolution
that.
is wonderful. It's great to see. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and the character's suit, or the cracks, that symbol is the one, which is 10,000, or a myriad, or a big amount of money, you know. So that's how the suits developed.
They're wonderful. Okay, so let's see if I can go to the next. Why wouldn't it let me go to the next screen? Okay, here we go.
Yeah. Okay, so this this set is again a German set. It's made out of Resopal, which is Formica. That's the rule book that came with it. There's they do a few different kinds of sets of these, the
Mhm.
very, very thin ones with just a thin formica, a thicker one with just a brown formica back, and a slightly thicker again with a black formica back. And really nice designs, and no paint loss or anything because it's imprinted into the formica.
Mhm.
And you can see
Wow.
the cracks are fully carved. Note that, Paul. Yeah, because Paul's the man who likes carving.
Right.
I'm looking, I'm looking.
He's
Well-
looking, yeah. If we go down to the flowers, as you can see here, these are a common theme in some old Chinese sets, and these are the 8 Immortals, and they're carrying their badges of office, if you like, the emblems that are associated with them. Yeah, and yeah, they're quite unusual. And
Oh.
here's the BAMs. You can see that it's a phoenix or a ribbon-tailed bird, I'm not sure which, carrying a plum blossom. And really nice graphics. It's very nice. So
Do
they
you
you
have any
have-
idea why they made the band blue and red?
Sorry, love.
Do you know why they would make the BAMs blue and red?
I've no idea.
Yeah,
No idea.
that's
No.
unusual.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Very
So
pretty.
Well-
and yeah, the Germans, they were after the World War One, they were forbidden to have any trade with China. So they were very limited. They couldn't import sets to Germany. So they made their own, and they made them with the materials that they were familiar with, which is the plastics. And you see a lot of cassine sets and celluloid sets coming out of Germany, as well as the wood and the famous Richter stone sets.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you will rarely see any bone and bamboo sets coming out of Germany. I think Paul got one from a guy who was selling a couple of sets. I tried to get one, but he wouldn't budge on the price, and it was just a part set. But I think this was an original from a prisoner of war in Germany, in China. Yeah, so that's the background of why most German sets are not bone and bamboo. So this set now is very, very interesting. I've only seen one before, and my pal Bill Price has just bought another one, and he'll be receiving it this week, hopefully, customs permitting. So it's got original German rules in High German, which is very difficult to read. But yeah, they are definitely rules for this set because it describes them exactly. These little square tiles are for each player. They're the east, south, west, north, and just showing the seasons. These little things are called, they call them kobolds, and these are the characters. And they're really, really weird.
Very cheery.
Yeah. And next, I don't know what these are. It's a hook or something.
A question mark, but with the
Yeah,
wrong.
I can't make out what the translation is. Anyway, these are very very interesting. You've got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. And the two are two shoes, a pair of shoes, 4 feet for the elephant.
Mhm.
Yeah. 6 sides on a die, and 8 legs on a spider.
Spider.
Mm.
And the 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 are the one God, the Trinity, the God, what is it? 5 muses, I think. 7 days of the week, and the 9 books of Moses, I think.
Wow.
Something like that. Yeah. So, but very, very different to you know, a modern
Beautiful.
set or a Chinese set, you know,
Very.
and it's you know, translating the blurb, it said that this was designed for the German people. You know, I've forgotten the name of the designer, but yeah.
So, yeah, I think you had it down here. Wait, hold on. Walter, oh, I'm going to mess that pronunciation up. Erzgraber.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So thank you. This is really interesting. I never
That's
saw it.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I think you and Paul should make a set like that for everybody.
I second that request.
Okay, Paul?
Okay. Will do.
Great, thank you.
That's a good, thank you, Karen. You're giving us a good segue to Paul.
Okay.
Thank you, Tony.
Here we,
Right.
thanks, Tony. Really cool stuff. Okay, I'm sure I've seen Hixson sets before. This is something a little bit different. Up until a little while ago, I think we all thought they just came into card boxes that we see them in when they occasionally pop up. This one appeared on eBay, and the minute I seen it, I knew I'd seen something like it before, so off I went, and of course, Tony has one. I don't think Tony actually knew that the box was Hixson. I think he just thought it was a box that had Hixson tiles in it. But on examining the box, you can see the back of the door there. The door is unbelievable construction, but you can see it's got the Hixson sticker that you see inside the lid of the card boxes, telling you about the all British sterilizable tiles. So this is their upmarket version. It's a 5-drawer oak box, slide up door, brass handles, cinnagrams for longevity in the front, Hixson sticker inside the door indicating the British manufacturer. It gives the patent number, which, like all patent numbers from back then, is non-traceable. Box has a bit of shrinkage, cracks, repairs, but it's actually very sound and strong. It has the original celluloid tally sticks. I've seen these with wood sticks as well. I reckon maybe the celluloid are for the higher end, wooden sticks are for the card boxes. Who knows? It was a long time ago. Has the porcelain wind discs with it, which is original with all the sets. Tiles are porcelain. You can see them there. Very, very well preserved. Good, strong oak box, because some of the sets you see tiles are pretty much destroyed. Tile trays are really nice, oak throughout, no fiberboard, no chipboard, no plywood, none of that stuff. Really just solid, nice carpentry. There's no shelves, trays just stack on each other. manual, I don't know whether you have a pic of it there, but it's the original manual, but well used and just about, you can still have the pages. Little gem of a set. The by the way on it is Mr. Hixson, who did this set, operated out of a place called Albion House. And if you look up Albion House, you'll see that your good friend, Dr. Crippen, operated out there as well before he got hung. And that's that one. Real nice set.
Is that
Absolutely.
something you've seen before? I've never seen the P for the white dragon just right
I know
center.
P
tile.
is in all the Hixson.
Oh, no, I've seen the letter P, but I've never seen it centered like that. Usually in a corner.
Okay, no, occasionally you'll see it centered, especially on the ones that they have a blue frame.
Yeah.
The P will be placed in the middle.
Very cool. Beautiful.
Nice.
I think on
lovely
some of
set.
the bone and bamboo, there's a P in the center I've seen before too.
Okay. Oh, wait, hold on. I gotta shrink. Okay, here we go.
Next one. This one is unfinished because I haven't fixed it yet. This one I think is a real gem. It's MJS, Mahjong Sales of America set, which doesn't have the flower tiles yet. It has you can see the red dragon and green dragon there are the actual cinnagrams for Phoenix and Dragon. You can see the circle tiles are the standard MJSA tiles. The flower tiles, however, are not yet, or sorry, the flower tiles are normal flower tiles showing the 4 arts and the 4 flowers with the season cinnagrams. And this, from discussion with Tony and a friend in Canada, this is likely and very likely in 1922 set. 6 drawers, which is pretty unusual. You can see them there. They alternate in color or wood between, what are we saying, rosewood and mahogany, I think. The shelves don't fit into the box correctly, as you can see there. There's a bit of a gap. The drawers don't fit into the box correctly. There's a bit of a gap because the shelves aren't installed, because I'm not putting in the shelves until I get the handle fixed, because I need to access under the lid to put in the handle. So the box is actually in pieces at the moment. It's just dismantled. I just put it together again just for the photo. What else about it? The 5 drawers hold 28 tiles each. You can see them there. It solves the issue of the 35 tiles in a drawer, which is prevalent with all of these MJSA sets. Circles of Dragon Standard MJSA. This is 1922, predates the main production runs, as the flower tiles have not been switched to the transportation buildings, which we see, and which became the MJSA staple. Lid of the Ming pot says banker. Tiles are smaller than usual. You can see the comparison there. 1 inch tall, which is smaller, pretty small, like, you know, it's like a nearly travel set size. Alternating rosewood and teak, fronts. The box door center panel is rosewood. It's surrounded in teak. It has a unique locking mechanism which inserts into a slot in the box roof. I've repairs to undertake. It needs the new handle, drawer pulls, then you put in the shelves. Tiles have not been cleaned, as you can see there. I sort of, whether you cleaned them or not, and I don't think I'm going to ever clean these ones. You can see if you look at I think the cracks especially, you have that layer of dirt on top of the paint that you can't actually see the original color, and I think it looks fine that way. We've played quite a few games with this set, kids and myself, and it's lovely. The extra photos there show the comparison with later MJSA sets. And you can see this set is actually really, I think it's really, really well carved, very precise, precision-y carving that I get to do myself sometimes, and sometimes I am not so precise at all. But a really sharp carving. If you can look at the one circles compared to each other, you can see the amount of detail and effort the carver put in. Or maybe he was just brilliant and ran off the carving really, really quick. You never know. As is just a slight, by the way, on it, if you look at the cinnagrams on the other MJSA flower tiles, you can see they're out of order compared to each other. If you look at number, I'm just going to point at it on the screen there so you can see where I'm pointing, but that doesn't work. But if you look at the 1, 2 tiles with the green cinnagrams and the green numbers, and the top row, and then you look at the 1, 2 tiles with the green cinnagrams on the bottom row, you'll see the cinnagrams are not in the correct order. A bit weird seeing that they mess up their own stuff. You know, you can see them messing up our numbers when they're carving because they probably don't know what they're carving half the time. Anyway, that was my 2 sets for today. Hope you enjoyed seeing them.
Wait, Dara, could
Yeah.
you zoom in on the Ming box at the bottom drawer, the little Ming container?
Yeah,
Thank
what
you.
is that? Thank you, Karen.
So that's the dice holder or the little Ming.
Yeah,
but
I
it looks
wanted to
like it
see
has
that
something in
closer.
the center.
Yeah. I was wondering if that's made out of bone.
It looks like it. Paul, what's inside that little Ming?
Oh yeah, they're just circular wind indicators.
Okay, out of bone?
Northwest, east, south.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Okay, so now let's make this smaller. Okay, now we are on to Toby Salk.
Ooh,
Do
pretty.
we have Toby?
Hi,
Oh, good.
can you hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you beautifully.
Oh, good, good. I should tell everybody I'm in the country with the cows. And so I was panicked that nobody would be able to hear me. So this is a set, it's not really called apple juice set. I call it apple juice set, but it's very dense. It's not, you know, it's just solid color. And the thing I kind of love about this set is it's ridiculously chunky. So you can see on the far left of this picture that you can see the side of it, and it's literally like the side of it is as wide as some tiles. It's just that big. Yeah, it's really, really fat and chunky. So I don't really know much about it. The flowers are kind of very sort of typical, I might say. It's hand carved, and I don't know, I just really like it because it's so chunky. If anyone knows more about it, great.
And
Yeah,
apple juice is a term, a nickname that a lot of collectors use for certain type of tiles that look this color.
yeah. I mean, it really is the exact color of apple juice. Yeah. Yeah. And then let's see, this set, I really like it, but I have to say that some of the backs are a little, like if you play, they come off, which is not good. But it's like a burnt orange back. So I really have a passion for wafer backs. I just, you know how you gravitate towards certain sets, and I really love wafer back sets. On these sets, I don't have any of the jokers, so they're not for American style play. The white dragon is just a blank. And again, the flowers are like not particularly ornate, but what I love is I have not seen that burnt orange on other sets. It's not a typical color you might see.
Very pretty.
And it's Chinese
Yeah.
Bakelite. What else? Yeah.
Toby,
Anybody want to add?
yeah, Toby, the backs are usually made of casein, not Chinese Bakelite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the reason they become detached is that casein is slightly hygroscopic. If it's kept it, alternates between damp and dry, they shrink and expand and break the glue bond, and that's why you find sets with almost all of them fallen off.
Right.
Yeah, I've got a couple of orange back, but not this caramel color.
Yeah, it's pretty beautiful in person. It's a little lost in this slide, but it's a gorgeous burnt orange that I just really like. So I don't play with it because I typically play American style, but I like that I have it.
Yeah.
And the backs can be glued back on. Just be really careful to match up the correct back to the correct tiles, oriented correctly. A little bit of wood glue so that you have a bit of time to get the wafer set correctly against the main body of the tile. And then you could put it in a vise or something like that if you want to be really careful, but just wrapping a few elastic bands around it to hold it together while it sets.
Yeah.
And a bit of care.
I need you to visit. Tony,
Pardon?
I need you to come visit.
Oh, yes, indeed. I had one set there a while ago, and I think damn near every back fell off each tile. They just glued together with imagination when they were manufactured. So nightmare trying to figure out, because I didn't see them fall apart. I got the box, and the box had just loose backs, loose tiles, and you're trying to pair them. Right. But it's doable, and you get there in the end. But
yeah. If you're lucky, if you're very lucky, you can match up the backs to the front because of the glue pattern, But it's a nightmare.
And you have to really be on top of what Paul said in terms of what glue you use. Because my first foray in wafer backs was someone had re-glued them using a super glue, and it was a disaster, and I just gave up because you couldn't get it free. But
you can boil those. I've boiled some apart.
I tried that. I did. It was like the glue was literally they broke, like it wouldn't come apart. It was like a super glue. Whatever they used was like industrial strength. Yeah. So you have to use a wood or a wood. You have to use a wood or a water-based glue, like an Elmer's glue, and it'll work just fine.
If you boil
this set here is what were we saying, Paul?
Okay, if you boil the tiles, or if you do it too strongly, you risk warping the wafers. So be very careful when you're doing it. That's all. And like Theresa says, super glue can be extremely difficult to debond. These tiles, when they were put together originally, were put together with animal glue or hide glue or whatever, and it dissolves nicely with the heat, and probably the water helps as well. But once they're super glued, it's really difficult to get acetone or whatever in between the two layers to try and loosen them. You can do them. I've done sets with super glue. You just have to be so careful putting the two pieces together.
You can get super glue debonder. I've never tried it, but I've heard people have used it successfully.
Just don't do super glue.
Well, here we go. Another wafer back, right? This set has no damage whatsoever. The wafers are absolutely in sync with the rest of the tile. And what I really like about these is that the wafer back is wider, thicker than most. The ratio is pretty big on the wafer back. And the color of these is like candy apple cherry red. And it clearly was not made for American play. No numbers, no letters, no jokers. Absolutely made for, you know, Hong Kong style or other. You can see on the winds, there are no letters, but the color of this red is just delicious. It's really great. The box is a little funky. It's one of those leather fold over boxes, but it's pretty intact. And I remember I bought it many, many years ago for $45. And I've never played with it, but I just think it's a beauty.
Beautiful. Thank you, Toby.
Yeah. Yeah. So thanks for looking.
Thank you. And now, Shirley Hanick, are you unmuted? Let's see. Do we have Shirley still on?
Yeah.
Okay. Donna, do you want to check on
Yeah, I'm
Shirley's?
looking.
Here, I asked her to unmute.
No, when you share your screen, I have to go through each one. Find her. Here she is. Asked
yeah.
to unmute. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay,
Yep.
Shirley should be on.
Am I unmuted?
Yep.
You are good.
Okay. So I was rummaging through looking for what to show for tonight. And I forgot what I have because I just don't have so many things. But I found this set of Mahjong racks. And they came in a nice little plain box, orange box. And what was interesting about the set is, of course, the label on it. And it says Mahjong, the genuine always bears the printed title Mahjong. The genuine always contains Babcock rules.
Mhm.
That's on the side. And then when you flip them over, what you're seeing, and you're seeing it in your screen right now, Mahjong scoring scale, and it goes all the way across the rack.
Very cool.
Can you see it all the way across?
Okay. Oh, you know what? I think the picture got cut off, but it goes all the way to doubles, special bonus, and values.
Yeah, yeah. If how do I get, because I can show it, I've got it right in front of me. It goes all the way across the double honors score, all the way
If
to,
you're showing it on your screen or you're showing it, you're holding it.
I've got it right here.
Oh, and then people could see it.
But I can't see myself, so I don't know. Just a minute. I don't know how to do that. Can you see me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm going to put it in front of my face.
Oh, yeah.
And it goes all the way across
yeah.
to the end. Now, there were 3 blacks. The ends have metal, and the ends are metal on this thing, on each one. And there are 3 black and 1 yellow. No idea where I got them. No idea why I would even think to buy them, but they were in a box and they looked nice. So that's all I can tell you. And it says the genuine always contained Babcock rules. I guess it's when I saw that, and the regular US Patent Office was on the front. Can you show a picture? Well, a picture of the front label? Yeah, you see it right there.
Can you see that now?
Yep, there it is.
Very cool.
Yeah, they were really cool racks and in really good condition. We're not showing, I didn't think we were showing this set tonight, the peroxaloid.
You want to wait? Okay, we could wait for that one.
But I can tell you about that one. That's easy enough.
Okay.
The peroxaloid said it had all these wonderful books that came with it. And the tiles were, what surprised me when I looked at them is it has black backs. And that surprised me because I never even noticed before. But I thought I was going to talk about the one that's in this big box on the bottom here.
Oh,
On the
I'm
bottom
sorry,
right.
that was my bad. I thought that went with that.
No, it doesn't go with it. It goes with this other set that I've got here. No, that's a peroxaloid. That's a peroxaloid.
Well, you know what,
The-
Shirley,
the
we'll
one
save
at the
that one
box-
till next time then. From the way that the email was, I thought that went with this.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
I just wanted to, if you wanted to show that one. And what I really liked was that the one BAM was the same as on the piece of paper.
Oh, very cool.
And
Okay.
that's what made that set really cool. And it wasn't complete to play. Never play with that one. And what more can I tell you? Not big, not chunky, just pretty and complete.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Okay.
So I think now, Theresa, is this your orange?
Yes.
scroll? Okay.
Yes, it's mine. Yeah. Now, can you see me? Because on my screen, I only see I see you, Dara, and I see the picture. I don't
Yeah,
see
we
me at
can
all.
see you.
You can see me?
I see you.
Yeah.
Are you
I
on
can-
speaker
Teresa.
view?
I can see you.
There's a
Okay.
setting in your thing that says stop showing myself, and you for some reason must have clicked that.
Yeah, I have no idea where that is. So,
I can-
all right. Okay. So, this is a Mahjong Sales Company of America two-tone set. They had lots of two-tone sets. They had very common burgundy. A lot of people have seen those. They're on eBay all the time. And there's they also did a green, they did a red, they did a black, but they also had these very interesting swirled ones. So what's nice about this set is the racks are solid, like a sanguine burgundy. All the tile stoppers are orange. The case is in perfect condition. And if you go to the next slide, the back, so it's two-tone. If you look at let's look at the face tiles first. You have the standard soaring sparrow, the standard flower tiles from Mahjong Sales Company. Then you have their typical phoenix and dragon, red and green. Their white dragon was the only one that I'm aware of that was that shape. They had the simplified wand, but then it's 50-50. The top is Catalan and the back is Cason. And they have several swirled colors that I've seen over the years. I have an orange one, I have a yellow one, I have a cafe au lait one, but it's very hard to complete because from what I understand, from what I've seen and spoke to other collectors, there's not a lot of these. So luckily this set came complete. I was absolutely floored. I bought it thinking it was incomplete because there was no description on how many tiles there were. I think, or if they did it, it counted incorrectly. But when I got it, I was gobsmacked that it came with 153 tiles. So, because it has the extra 5. Now, and I could be completely wrong, actually, because I do have a second set that is not far off in color from this, and I might have pulled 4 tiles from that. I think actually, now that I'm thinking about it, those 4 tiles came from that set. I take terrible notes and I have a terrible memory on how I get these stupid sets completed. But this one is complete, playable, ready to go. I will put out a plea though, if anyone has any of these swirled back tiles, because sometimes you just see them in sets that don't go with anything, please contact me because I have one set that I cannot complete. And it's a crazy swirled, like cafe caramel, dulce de leche color that I would love to complete. But anyway, this one is much more orange. I sympathize with Toby in her gorgeous burnt back, wafer back, because the iPhone does not capture the tiles correctly. It is, yes, those colors are there, but to the naked eye, it's not as crazy. Like it's not as obvious what tile you're picking up saying, oh, that yellow stripe on the side, that's the 2 BAM or whatever. No, in person, it's not as obvious. But the camera captures every nuance on it. And that shadow that you see in the middle right quadrant is my shadow that created that color. So me just hovering over the tiles created that discoloration. So I think there's another picture. I take hundreds of pictures trying to capture the color correctly. So I think, yeah, that is a little bit more accurate. It's more like a fiery sherbet color when you see it in person. But that's the better's wheel. And there should be, I thought I did a side view, like an angled view of it. No, okay.
It was right above. It was
There's one on the rack.
No, there was one that was like them all laid out, and maybe I didn't send it because it's just too many pictures. So, okay, so the next one is a triple layer green lucite one. This was made by Royal Games. Royal Games hired, and so did Cardinal, carvers in Hong Kong for import. And so you'll have that sticker sometimes still glued on the case. Sometimes they fall off. But this is a triple layer green. The reason why I just absolutely love this one is just, it's so brilliant in the colors, and the gold is magnificent, the gold paint. The, yeah, you can see the gold paint on the flower tiles. And this one has 24 or 28 flowers. This was pre-Jokers. And so they had all these extra flowers. And I'd usually just put a little, per Gregg Swain's brilliant idea of just taking a little round sticker, and you just put it over the number and write a J on it. And those are your Jokers for the day. And then I take the sticker off and put everything back. But what everyone likes about these sets in particular are the dragons have 3 different graphics. So it makes it for very easily recognizable that you have the green, the red, because sometimes the paint, you know, with our oils in our hands, the red will get less red. And some people say, was it green or is it red? Or so, but this color's vibrant and easily understandable. So the top layer is like a melamine white, and the middle layer is clear, and the back is green. And did I give you a picture of what the backs look like?
Oh, that's so funny. I don't think I did.
Yeah, so the backs are just,
If
just
you
the
did,
standard.
I'm sorry.
No, they're just a standard green, and it came with your multicolored Bakelite racks. So these are, and they came in Royal Games and Cardinal both did triple layer lucite, and they have them in green, blue, and pink most standardly. And then you'll see them in a variety of colors, but they're not Royal Games or Cardinal. They're from Hong Kong. And but in general, these are hand carved and hand painted. So, and I like this one because it was just in pristine condition with all the original flower tiles.
So you didn't repaint any of this? This was how you got it?
No, I did not have to repaint this at all. No.
Because I have one, and the green dragons turn like a lime green.
Yeah.
That was later on. That was when they started implementing Jokers. So this was very early before Jokers were implemented, and when they had I guess 24 flowers in use or something crazy like that. I'd have to look at one of the old cards. But yeah, they did like this very yellowy green for a few years. And I wonder if the paint changed, but that is very easily remedied by just a refresh of paint on the greens. The bamboos and the green dragons do get that neon yellow sometimes, but yeah, I just love this green set, and they play very nicely. They feel nice in your hand.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So it's interesting because one of the virtual vintages that we did, I think Toby did like 3 or 4 different triple layer colors. And like you just said, the standard colors and sizes are, I mean, not easy to match, but you could find, there are so many variations as Toby has tried to match her sets. When you get into the orange and the yellow and the different shades and the different sizes, it's unbelievable, the range of those.
Yeah, I have a yellow one that's really thick and chunky from China, and I'll never find, extra tiles for that.
Yeah.
So
let me stop.
So Linda
have a
Long
stat.
asked a question. How does a collector know it is hand carved and painted? It just depends on the manufacturer, and those triple layers have that sticker in there. But yes, you just have to do your research, because sometimes you don't know. But hand carved, you will see imperfections from tile to tile. You have to sometimes get little magnifying glass out, and you'll see the differences. Like, and especially in the triple layer lucite, they've gone too far. They didn't paint it, but you see the indentation that kind of keeps going. But even some of the Bakelites are hand carved or hand pressed. So you just have to do your research and ask an expert, and they'll most likely know.
Yeah, the hand carved stuff is generally the ends of the strokes are very sharp, whereas the impressed ones, it's rounded. You know, and sometimes you can see the lip round the impression. You see that on a lot of American sets, like AP.
Ivory craft especially.
Yeah.
And then one of the questions, and I think we got to it, but I know I was flipping. Somebody had asked about buying sets. So I don't want to paraphrase Toby, so I'm going to give Toby the mic back. But I know in your book with Gregg, you talk about buying and buyer beware. Do you want to kind of summarize?
Well, I see, and I think anyone who collects sees this, complete set, and then you get it, and there's 152 tiles or 144, whatever, but then there are tiles that have nothing to do with the main set, or they're chipped, or they're broken, or they're not painted, or they're creepy with the fungus among us and all kinds of things. So I think you have to be like super, super careful when you're buying, maybe look at the ratings, look as closely as you can. And a lot of us just take our chances. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I saw a terrible photograph. It looked really sad, and I bought it anyway, and I was either happy or really disappointed, but I knew I could go either way, and I took a chance. But I think, you can go on Craigslist and Etsy and local flea markets, and of course eBay and other collectors, but I think you're almost always, unless you're standing there in person, there's an element of taking a chance. I don't know if everybody would agree with me.
Absolutely.
Just buyer beware. A while ago, it was happening to Theresa with a very highly carved set that she had. They said on eBay, don't buy here, message us and pay through this link. So don't.
You were using her photographs to sell a set. Yeah.
Well, we've had this issue. Me and Chris Clayton both have had our photos hijacked and reposted as if it's their listing, and it's not. And they started out at $1 or whatever, and it's not their set. They have no way of mailing it to you. You pay, and then you never get it, and then you complain to eBay, and eBay reimburses you, but in the meantime, the seller has just gotten money off of you. And so they took one of her sets that was 4 ladies playing Mahjong on the flowers, and they just keep reposting it with a different seller. So they hijacked also a reputable eBay seller's account and then posted as their own. And they did that with me.
Wow.
They stopped using my photos and started using hers, and it gets taken down usually within 24 hours. But then a couple days later, it's back up. So they try for a while, and then I think they move on to something else.
But it obviously was working because they did it several times to your set.
Oh yeah, I had it done at least a dozen times, and same with Chris. Yeah, we both. It's a big fight, and I got on the phone with eBay about it, and they're aware of the problem, but they don't. There's only so much they can do.
Wow.
The other thing I was going to say, I mean, it's not easy to collect. So collectors usually buy 2 or 3 of the same sets just to make one set. So people have to understand that it's not so easy what you guys do.
Repainting and begging and cajoling, and sometimes sets take years. I mean, Karen Robertson and I were on the phone the other day, and I was like, what else you need? What else do you need? Let me see if I got it. And you just try to help each other out, because it could be years before you get a set completed. And thankfully, Karen was able to spend some time with me on the phone, and we were just able to complete a bunch of sets for her, because I just weirdly had a lot of those tiles. It's
the shade. It's not even just the tiles. It has to be the right material. It has to be the right size. It has to be the right shade, the right aging. It's quite a thing. But I would like to put together from all of us, maybe on another Zoom, things to look out for when you want to start collecting. Like look for the numbers in the upper left corner, not the upper right corners. Look for people that have painted with a Sharpie pen and ruined the bone for the rest of the bone's life. Things like that people should be aware of, because you're so disappointed. I don't want to have you not be a collector, but I want you to be aware of what to look for when you want to collect an item.
And Karen, do you want to tell people that I hate to break it to them, but if they think they have an ivory set?
Yes.
Oh, it's not ivory. I should back up. I have 3 ivory sets, and I was talking with Brad LaPratt, maybe 4 months ago, and he was trying to buy the set from a person, and he says, it's not ivory, I can guarantee it. And he went over there and it was ivory and bamboo. He goes, it was one of the rare freaks. But out of maybe 50,000 sets, you might see 1 ivory piece or 1 ivory disc, or it's very rare to find an ivory set. And everybody was told by their grandparents, oh, it's ivory. It's not. It's probably kaolin / bakelite. And it's not ivory.
Right.
And
it's ivory.
If you go on YouTube on our Modern Mahjong channel, not as detailed as Tony would get into, but we do a overview of the different materials and what each one is. And it's kind of like a quiz. And can you identify which is bone? Do you see the channels in the bone? Do you see the cross hatching in the ivory? And it really is a very helpful way just to get an idea of what you're looking at.
Right. And the heads up for people that buy online, if they say, oh, it's ivory, 1, it's going to get taken down because it's illegal to buy and sell in the States. And 2, look in closely and you'll see all the little bone channels right away. You'll know it's bone.
Right.
Can I get in? Just on the buying and trying to get, trying to get the right thing, what you're looking for. You really need that layout if you're looking at the cracks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you just make sure that they are regular. I've seen sets up, American sets in particular, where somebody will have the grid of tiles there in front of you and it looks normal, but if you look closely you will see that the 4, 7 of circles, one of them slightly different. Not as obvious as having the 7 in the wrong corner, but maybe the circles are slightly higher, slightly lower, because they've robbed the tile from an MJS set and put it into an ivory craft set. Stuff like this happens all the time. I've seen allegedly reliable sellers do it. Now, whether you'd assume they'd be aware of the issue, or maybe they bought a set like that and they're just passing it on, but you need regularity through the tiles. If they're not regular, there's a bit of forgiveness if they're hand carved. If they're from China and they're hand carved, you're going to have variance. So you are. And what else? Oh yeah, somebody mentioned earlier about the sequential tiles or the sequential flowers making the set be good. You can make these yourself if you really get into it, because somebody was saying about the carving. And what you get when you do that is, if this shows in the picture, I'm trying to figure out where the camera is. Oh yeah, like that.
Oh, nice job.
And you can make your own ones like that.
They're
all just do it yourself. And they blend in and they look right, but they're not part of the set. You can see the ordinary tiles in the background there. They're not part of the original set, but they match perfectly. And you can do it and you can fit them in, and it's like repainting tiles. If you practice at it, you get good at it.
I would like to piggyback on what Paul said about inconsistent. So there was a seller who had a very rare two-tone set, and he had to replace a flower that was missing. And it was a perfect match on the color, the size, the shape, but it was from a different manufacturer. However, that you wouldn't find that tile. To find that tile in a two-tone, it was impossible. So there are allowances when you're trying to complete a set and you have to add a 7-dot or something from a different set.
But declare
Yes, the face, as long as the size, the thickness, the shape and the color all exactly the same, you have to allow for some. I think Greg, you coined it like a acceptable deviation. Is that what you coined it?
Well, I'm not sure that I said that, but anyway, you just have to accept that sometimes that nothing's going to be perfect.
Yeah. So, but the seller should disclose that in their comments, that it's not, at least for this one. And I know exactly the set, I was the only one that had, and I forgot honestly that I had the set before. So there was no way of knowing what the flowers were supposed to look like either. So, sometimes you do your best and that's all you can do, but.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And just as another tip, if anybody is thinking of repainting their tiles and you're inspired by what we talked about tonight, Donna and I did a Zoom with Theresa where she took you step by step how to clean off the stickers that are old tiles, how to get them ready to paint, pop the paint on. And she took what she learned from a lot of people on here and elsewhere.
On here, yes. Yes, absolutely. And Paul was right. It takes a long time to practice and you mess up a lot of aggravation until you get it right. And then you figure it out and then it's easy.
So with that being said, thank you all so much for, I'm sorry, Tony.
Yeah, I was just going to add that with bone and bamboo tiles, it's important to get a side view as well, because I mean, you can, I've seen so many sets that are marriages, but they look absolutely perfect on the face of it, but you turn them on side and the replacements have got maybe 1/8 of an inch of bamboo, of bone, and the rest of the tiles are like 50-50 or 70-30 bone to bamboo,
Well, Tony, I know what you would probably say, because you always laugh whenever there's posts about jokers and how they're the scourge of rule and discussion. You say, don't play National Mahjong League rules. Much easier to complete a set if you don't need those 8 extra tiles.
Exactly. Oh God, I spend most of my time carving jokers. Yeah, and I spend a good part of my time carving replacement tiles, for ones that have gone missing.
Right.
But usually they replace carving the spare tiles that come with a lot of Chinese sets. So it's not exactly cheating or introducing a marriage.
Right.
That's what they're intended for anyway.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, I think this was our longest Zoom that we've had so far.
Yeah.
I know we kept all of you way past. I mean, it's for those of you who don't realize, for Tony and Paul, I think it's 1:40 in the morning.
My God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
So thank you all for joining us. Thank you for Donna. I really appreciate everybody just sharing the immense knowledge and time that you have.
I learn something new every time,
If you are interested in other Zooms, please email us and give us ideas. Karen had an idea, just send us an email at modernmahjong@gmail.com. If you are thinking our next Zoom, actually, for those of you who play Mahjong, but also play Canasta or want to learn, our next Zoom is May 21st. It's a jumpstart to Modern American Canasta with me and another Donna Miller. So if you're confused when you see our posts, I'm Mahjong Donna, and then I have Canasta Donna. They're 2 different people. So that's May 21st if you want to join us for that. And we are planning other Zooms, and we just decided today, Donna, you want to tell them what we're doing in June?
June 21st is the longest day. It's a big day for fundraising for the Alzheimer's Association. People have been asking us to do more virtual online tournaments, so we're gonna do an online tournament to raise money for Alzheimer's in June.
Wonderful.
So, yep.
Great.
Excited.
So stay tuned, stay connected, invite your friends to join us. Thank you all.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
Bye.
everybody. Good to see you.
Good night,
Fun.
everyone.
Bye.
Fun. Bye.
Super
Bye.
stuff.